Hi, my name is Miss Linda Jackson, and I was born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. In this video, I want to talk to you about media, how we can take control of the stories we tell and the stories that people tell about us. I've been working with United Way Greater Cincinnati, IKRON, and APicture'sWorth more than a year to elevate voices and change. This video shares some of the lessons we learned so more people benefit from them. It's called Understanding Media Basics. So let's get started. Media is everywhere, not just on TV. It's on your phone, in your house, in your pocket, in elevators, airports, restaurants, schools, concerts, hospitals, and doctor's office. Anyone can be an influencer. Who can you trust with your story? Let's start with the basics. What do you mean when we talk about news? For a very long time, news editors and reporters, mostly white, mostly male, had decided what is and what is not news. Primarily, what you see in news is about crime, violence, and conflict. Something is happening right now, anything about famous people and leaders. Every once in a while, we get news about the consequences of the more dramatic stories. That is not as common as you might expect. News is not primarily focused on people who aren't famous unless they do something horrible or amazing, providing background information and different perspectives, values that shape decisions, and the bigger picture. You may be asking yourself, why is news like this? First, you have to know most media is a business. People that own media want to make a profit for themselves and their shareholders. Sometimes that means the more outrageous, more in line with the status quo, the better. Also, seniority counts in the news business, but not always in a positive way. Reporters with the least experience are often assigned to cover night shifts, crime, and meetings, areas where backgrounds is especially important. Nonprofit media is different, but they still rely on someone to pay their salaries. Second, you have to remember individual reporters are not the media, which means they often have little control of what you see as the final product of their work. Often, reporters do not write their own headlines. Also, deadline pressure is real. Some reporters are expected to produce multiple stories, each on different topics, and edit them to appeal to multiple social media and webpage platforms every day. Any photos and videos they can use from public places is fair game. Finally, we all know clickbait is a reality. The more clicks, the more time you spend with the story, the more money the media owner can make. Based on what reporters can control, here are some important reality checks for you to know when someone wants to interview you. No matter what the reporter tells you or believe themselves, your control, what is published or broadcast, is limited. People who are editors and producers, and sometimes even owners, have the final say. Your words may show up or not in any part of the story. Often, your main message won't make the final cut because the story is about some other event or issue. Your words may also show up in another story, or if you was filmed, that clip may become part of a different story if the topic is similar. It's up to you to ask how your words will be used, and then yes or no to the interview. When and if you say yes, you always have the right to limit what you share. That's all well and good, but now we also dealing with podcasters, YouTubers, and all other kinds of content creators. And they don't have to play by any traditional media rules. Still, there are important elements you can control when it comes to media coverage. Your participation. You can always say no to an interview, especially if the person reporting the story has not done their homework, has been disrespectful, have made errors in the past, or has positioned the story in a way that goes against your core values. What you say. You can work with your team in advance of any interview to develop up to 3 key messages you want to share about the topic or news. If a reporter asks a leading question or one that is problematic, you can redirect them by saying on message. We see politicians do it all the time. Who you know? Take note of reporters who is thoughtful and thorough. Tell them you appreciate their work. Share your best story with them. Reporters love people who call them back. Sometimes, though, you need to take control of your own message, especially when you want to reach the public. Here's a great example of what it sounds like when you take control with your own messaging, and it features me. My friends at IKRON wanted to let people know about ways to avoid the fiscal cliff. IKRON knows how most people who rely on assistance to get by. People like me that really want to work that often lose benefits when they start working. Then they no longer can cover their bills. Listen how it turned out. I'm the go-getter, Miss J. When I was working to provide for my family, government cut my Social Security, housing, insurance, and other benefits way too much. They called it the benefit cliff. It happened a lot. It happened to me. People stay on free benefits rather than work. I wanted to work, so I reached out to IKRON. They helped me get a job and manage my benefits so I can work. Want to work? Call IKRON 513-621-1117 or visit ikron.org. When radio stations played our public service announcement, people got the message. Folks started calling IKRON for guidance how to navigate the systems that were keeping them from being successful. That's what I call taking control of your message and making a difference. Be sure to download our tip sheet to help you work successfully with members of the media, no matter the outlet. And tune in to our next episode as we dispel more media myths and explore new ways to create stories that makes a difference.